ready for another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry.
Got to mute your husband. What?
Yes, he is a millennial, so he needs to tell every freaking detail that happens in his life. And I'm like, I just left the house. And should we check?
I just checked the butter in my refrigerator. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Our neighbors came home and he's like, they're back. Okay. All right.
That's funny.
We're good.
Okay.
Everybody's cool? Everybody's good to go?
Yeah, we're good to go. Yes.
Awesome. Welcome back to another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Yeah, I love to have people with experience and new ventures into voiceover on the podcast. And this time it's pretty cool because if you get our emails or you've listened to the podcast, I have mentioned the voiceover community, our Voiceover Gurus community that is in Circle. And I've talked about how it's a great space where everybody connects and they get a lot of support. And we also have the portals to get the lessons and everything. Real quick, you started listening to the podcast with me a couple years ago. You have seen and heard my transitions from being full-time voice actor, and I wasn't doing a lot of coaching in the beginning, to now I'm coaching students on the spectrum. And in my mid-50s, I'm transitioning myself a bit and really focusing on helping voice actors. You know, has become my passion because this field is so incredible, and hence the community and why I love it so much. So the three most active members of the community have joined me today for the podcast. So I'm going to just quickly introduce you. You could say a quick hello. Dave Johnston.
Hello.
Marco Rigazio.
Hello there.
And Tony Jones.
Howdy.
Now, Tony, I think you're right on the cusp of being like you're number 3 because Dave Johnston has so many contributions.
Nobody's catching Dave.
No.
No. Nobody's catching Dave.
Oh,
Yeah. And then
it gets
Marco's
to me
right.
before it gets to you, so that's good.
But I figured this would be great. You guys we can talk about it. Let's off the top of your head. So Dave, what's your most favorite part about the community? What do you like about it?
I think it would be the mentorship, the support. There's so much I like about it, but what stands out to me is just the connection of each other's journey, knowing that we have each other's back for the defeats as well as the victories. We've had some horrific times and some great times, but we're always there no matter what. Mm-hmm. I think and the accountability factor bar is really high. So that's I just enjoy communing with one another. It's great.
That's great. What about you, Marco? What do you think?
I would echo what David had said. The how do I put it? The energy with the group. It's really a caring group of people.
Yeah.
And this is why you and Kevin and Alyssa and a lot of coaches will say, be part of a community, because we spend our job is in a box, a lonely kind of endeavor, and having a community of people, of like-minded people. I have a lot of support at home for what I'm doing.
That's great.
And there's, trying to understand it, but can they really understand it?
Oh, right.
So the people who are in the mix and in the fire with you really understand and can not just empathize but sympathize, right?
Yes.
And I think that's for the community. I think this is great. And I've said this to you before. This is my VO home, and it's one of the I check in as often as I can and contribute and giving what I find. And that's the other thing that we do, and Dave does and Tony does and other people also. But
right,
we find things that hit for us and then we share it with the group, and then they do it as well. So we get quote unquote coaching and tips from everybody.
Yeah. So true. How about you, Tony? What do you think?
Again, with these guys, the camaraderie,
of everybody in the community is just great. And it's anytime there's a, I like to hit everything. I like to hit the peer critique. I like the accountability meetings. I, I I almost get a fear of missing out if I'm not I just, well, yesterday we had the meetup at 11 a.m. Well, I'm at my day job.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the truck. I just popped the truck on, or the camera on the dash, and
And you joined.
yeah. So no, the camaraderie between everybody, but having access to three great coaches is fantastic.
That's awesome.
And you get an audition that comes up that you might want a little help through, and schedule that 30-minute that you get every month with the master class, and have a coach you through the read. So it's gosh, it's hard to say exactly one thing that I like best about the community, because it's all of this stuff is just great.
Thank you. So there's two components to the community, because the community is essentially initially free. And anyone can join, which is why I wanted to talk about it, so folks don't think that this is some unattainable thing that they have to open their wallet for. Because we do have things that happen on a weekly basis. We have a weekly read challenge, which has really hit. A lot of people seem to like that.
Oh yeah, I love it.
100%. I mean, I'm curious, and I do think, though, there are other communities out there that don't have a free level. There are some, and I think the offering that you give here, and that you give for the free level, I think a number of the people who are on the free level gain a lot of value from it. It's not just. This is one thing I've said for the longest time about you, Linda, is I don't feel that this is a money grab from you as a coach and as a person. I think you genuinely want to help people. And the offerings that you have for the community as a whole, I think is of value to everybody, paying or not.
Right.
Then if you want to up your game a little bit, or some of the extra benefits of being in the master class, clearly all three of us are on board with that.
Right.
But and I'm sure we can discuss that later, but I think the value for anybody coming in, as probably really new people would also say, okay, look, I can get all of this stuff that's coming on. The weekly script challenge is a perfect example of that. They get to read, they get to put something out there and try and see, if this is something that they can get into, and it doesn't cost them a dime to do it.
Right. I think it's important, because I've had people say to me, it's a community, you should at least just charge $5 for everybody coming in. And I'm thinking, I don't feel that is necessary, because I feel like I would rather you guys show up because you want to be there, and I would rather everyone have that camaraderie. And it's like a very safe zone. We try to create a very safe zone where everybody is level with each other and supportive of each other. I mean, those weekly script read challenges, everybody posts, and even if it's just a nice, kind little word, that's all that it takes to give some confidence, a little something for someone who's brand new. And we get brand new people that are like, I've never done this. I barely have a microphone. Let's go. And then you guys are all like on board with, yeah, great job, great job. Or if somebody welcomes, you guys are very, very supportive. And I love that. I just, for me, it just feels, and I'm not knocking anybody that wants to, charge for a community. I just feel that benefit wise, why not offer what we offer? Because it's no skin off my back. I'm happy to post a weekly script.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to mention that the happy hour that you have, the first time I got into your happy hour, and I saw the half price off, and I go, wow, what's this about? And then I found out it was an improv class. You're not going to get an improv class for $35, okay? You're there with two people. You're there for an hour, 2 hours, not only having a lot of fun, but improving your improv skills, feeding off one another. It's dynamic. It's a great happy hour.
And so, don't forget the alcohol.
Yeah, bring your beverage.
Legit. Well, I'm totally excited because we just started the peer critique circle like
Yes.
2 months ago. And that is, it's $10. I actually stole the idea from John Ciano from Livo. He's a friend of mine. So I thought it was great. And then I was hearing people were, encouraged to share whatever it is you have. You could, a recent audition, a new demo, Dave, a new demo. You want to share it, you get, your peers, ears on it. But it seems so far, and we're just trying because Kevin's really into it too. He's like loving this. He wants us to really get involved. It seems people are on board with it. Now, Tony, you've been going.
Yeah, I've been to all three of them so far. So, and they're all a little different, and
Really?
and yeah, but it all winds up. We get through everything, and it all winds us up talking shop, and seeing what other people are doing, where they are. We had Philip with us last night, and Philip's really just kind of getting started. But so he's got all kinds of questions,
Yeah.
But it was great. It was great last night with Philip and Monique and just checking out what we're doing, what we're auditioning for, or I'm putting stuff that I'm wanting to post up on social media in there. And actually Philip had a pretty good suggestion on something I showed last night, and it's like, I never thought of that. Maybe and I'm going to do it. Yeah. So it's pretty awesome to get it. Like you said, another set of ears or another set of eyes on something that you're doing, and maybe get some helpful tips from them. So
Yes,
it's really great.
That's awesome. So the community is free and you can enjoy a lot of things. But then of course we have the paid membership, which is the masterclass membership. And that I like to keep things small. Every workout that we do, we usually max at 6 people. We want everyone to have enough time to read as many scripts as possible and to get attention because this, like Marco says, is not a money grab. It's more about giving you quality and giving you time with a coach because we do other things. We make our money in other, avenues. We're not begging for you to re-up a package. And I feel very grateful for that situation. But the masterclass we've made unique because it is more like a mentorship. And that's what I try to explain to folks. It's like voiceover is not like, you get your demo and you're done. It's like, this is a journey. It is a long form. And I know everybody says it's a journey, but it is truly. You get in and you need feedback. You need expression with other people. You need to learn all the different steps, all the different ways because you own your own business now. And it doesn't just end when somebody says, I'm going to make you a demo and kick you out the door. Right. Hence, what the masterclass does is to give you that extra push, like it's the accountability group. So we do that every other week. And I'm hoping that it's helping you stay on track with stuff. You guys seem to come pretty prepared with what you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The support. Oh, go ahead, Marco.
I was going to say that the underlying benefit for one of the underlying benefits for me is, like I said, the Gurus is my home, my VO home. And now with the masterclass and we've kind of been in contact for a couple of years now. But you know me now.
Right.
You know us, and because we interact, and in the masterclass, you know each person, not only what they're capable of doing voiceover wise, but the person, why they feel certain things, our personalities, maybe some of our deeper stuff, because we've been together for so long, and you just know that. And where, I have a dream, I want to try this, I want to do this. Okay. So you kind of know where the direction might want to go and the steps that we're taking now. And you kind of it's very tailored to each person. But the benefit, like you said, is the mentorship, which can sometimes sound a little, some people might feel stressed about being a mentor, like you feel responsible for the person. But you guys truly are, and, helping guide me and helping me to find who I am in voiceover, because that's what we're selling. We're selling ourselves.
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And we have to learn who we are in voiceover, not who we can act like. And that
Yeah.
was one of the real foundational things that you helped me with. And that comes from talking with you a lot, having meetings and learning and commiserating over nothing, over just talking about life.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
everything. So again, one of the real foundational benefits is that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
You know, I want.
I was just going to say, as far as the accountability stuff goes, yeah, it's I've been known to be a procrastinator, and so when you set that goal, and I know I'm going to see Linda in 2 weeks, I want to make sure I've
Yes.
at least worked on it. I
Mhm.
didn't put it off for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so it helps me a lot. It helps me a whole bunch.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
I was going to mention, I put the master class in a metaphor because I was a long distance runner in high school and college. I used to
Mm.
run 2 or 3 miles, and we often say the voiceover world is a marathon. And we see new people come in, and unfortunately, we see some people in the voiceover world back out because they realize it's a long
Yeah.
haul. And the fact that we're all in this together, and it's so thrilling to see all of some of us that have been together 3 or 4 years. I mean,
Hmm.
Yeah.
that's saying something. I mean, that gives testimony to the dedication and the passion for what we do,
Hmm.
and the accountability that we have with one another. Just as Tony was saying, we had the accountability class uh, recently, and it's like, oh yeah, I wrote down my list, and I'm gonna see them next week, and I'm not going to go to the microphone going, oh, nothing got done. It's like
Right.
it's just a really powerful thing. And
Or you
so
could pretend that you were having your studio redone and then just not show up
yeah,
for
just
months.
remodel. Yeah, act like you're remodeling.
Mark. Hmm.
That is funny. I
I shared pictures
yeah,
before and after.
I
Yeah, yeah.
know,
He had proof. He had
I'm
visual
giving you
proof.
grief. I do feel that I know you guys pretty well, and it's awesome because you're more like friends, and I
Mhm.
know that
Yep.
like Kevin and Alyssa love you. Like Alyssa and I chat after each workout. And we're both back and forth with, oh my God, what an amazing group, another amazing group of people. Love the energy, love what they each give. And I say to her, I'm like, I feel I'm always on like cloud nine after I finish a workout with all of you because it feels good. And she's the same way. She goes, I love it. I absolutely love it. So we enjoy the fact that we get to know you, which is why that's how we make our demos too. And that's why it's not a
Hmm.
demo factory. So some people are like, why can't you just know? I need to know you. And I feel like I know several of you to the point where I can figure out what would work best for you, hopefully. I mean, of course, it's my opinion, but it just it helps me a lot. I mean, Dave, you're the most recent demo, you know, acceptance. You accepted your demo. I don't know how to
Yes,
put
right.
it.
Yeah. Very
And
much so.
yeah, but knowing knowing, where you live, what you do for a living, your lifestyle, what you love, what you aren't a fan of. I didn't realize that you didn't like sports at all.
Right.
Those
Right.
things that I learned about you
Right.
helped me to figure out and then obviously you being in the workouts. And I was mentioning it to another masterclass member yesterday and saying, you got to come to some of the workouts because I don't know what you can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't,
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know. I just, us talking is nothing. I need you to come. It's not expensive. You get a discount because you're a masterclass member.
Mhm.
Come to a workout so we can help, what did you say, Dave? Peel away the layers. Isn't that what
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
Just like the onion. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
This
Mm-hmm.
is my experience. This is you redid my demo. Well, I shouldn't say you redid. You are the second commercial demo that I had,
Right.
right? And the first one sounded okay. I mean, it was done professionally
Yep.
and by a professional group, but I wasn't ready, and they didn't let me know that I wasn't ready
Mm.
because I was coached through it. That's why it sounded okay. It sounded good.
Right.
But put a script in front of me and
Right.
repeat that, I was struggling. So working with you guys over the years now, really helps me to learn that the Dunning-Kruger effect. Down on the Dunning-Kruger effect, kind of, for those who don't know, is an effect of how when you start something, you're overconfident about what you can do.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like a graph, and you shoot right up to what they call the mount of stupidity, and then and then pretty soon, as time goes by, you kind of learn that you don't know as much as you did, and you end up down in this trough of,
Oh, wow.
and I don't know what I thought I knew. But it starts to edge up a little bit with time because you start actually learning it. Um, so, but working with you has brought me back up
Great.
from that. So now I feel confident in what I'm doing. And the demo process with you was a world of difference than my first experience.
Hmm.
Yes, you know me. So you kind of have a sense anyway
Right.
about things. But you hand wrote the scripts. You personally wrote the scripts for me, how I can present, certainly at least at this moment. Uh,
Right.
we spoke about, well, this one kind of, I don't know that I feel great about that. We tried it a couple of times and you're like, yeah, well, let's leave that one out.
Yeah.
So, you put your best foot forward and you know that. And while, yes, it is just your opinion over a couple of decades of doing this,
Yeah.
and or more. I don't know. I'm assuming at least 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So there's, you come to me about fitness and the gym and exercise and nutrition. I got you.
Mhm.
This,
Mhm.
this, you, we need the mentor, and I'm okay doing that. I'm okay saying I don't know.
Mhm.
So I'm hooking up my wagon to the guru train, man. I'm
You
sorry.
did.
Yes.
You did. I
So
appreciate it.
yes,
I think
100%.
sometimes the demo process, and nothing against some people that dive into it, but exactly, you have to be ready for it. You have to, and no, everybody has their first demo and maybe they weren't ready for it, and that's fine. It had something to market with. But then once you start to develop your talent and do workouts and get coaching, even from whoever you're getting coaching from, you grow. Hopefully you grow. Hopefully you're learning from the other coaches and growing, and then things change.
Yeah.
And you wanna update. I was having a session with Erin because we're gonna be revamping her commercial demo. Erin she's amazing and she's working, and so she has a lot of legit stuff to mix in. And I was gonna show her I screenshot all my freaking demos over the years because I have like 100 different things, because that's how much things can change.
Right.
And
Right.
so it's okay. The demo isn't set in stone. That's why
Right.
we get the individual pieces. So you suddenly decide, Marky, you book some big, Coca-Cola spot, and you're like, I got to put this on my demo, and I'm gonna dump something else. But it's a work in process.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I'd rather spend time on it and not make a ton of money than just be like, pay and good luck to you.
Well, I'll tell you, you mentioned that point, and I will go back to not a money grab. It was the cost was very reasonable. It wasn't, an extraordinary amount of money. And the value to for it was, it's you delve into the person when you're doing the demo, as opposed to,
Right.
here are some reads and let's try this, and not the typical, oh well, you need this type of read, this type of read, this type of read, and this type of read, and let's find some of those and make that your demo. No, it's about getting to know us,
Hmm.
finding out. I mean, you literally asked me for a list of things I use and like in
Right.
my life,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and not just that, what I like about them, why do I use them, what about it, and reading the copy that you wrote had some of those things literally in there. So it was actually a collaborative process,
Mm.
which was just, it's a wonderful thing to feel like you're really in there. And anybody who's thinking about it, I really don't suggest doing one on your own unless you're some sort of engineer or something.
Yeah, unless you've got experience as an audio
But
producer.
yeah, don't do it.
Well, I have
Don't
to
do
give a
it.
shout out to a great script writer who she gives a wonderful foundation of scripts. And then we work through them. But like I remember with you, Marco, because I've never ridden a motorcycle, but you know about motorcycles. And I was asking you, does this flow and make sense the way that this phrasing is? Because you're going to know. I'm
Right,
not going to know.
right.
And it also needs to be comfortable. Like, would you say this? Because if
Hmm.
you wouldn't, you're just saying words, like you say. So I've had a few times where people have rented my studio here on Long Island because they're doing coaching with someone someplace else. And so the coach gets, tapped in and coaches them. And then I record the audio and send it off. So I'm not a coach. I'm literally just like a board op audio person. And I see line readings. Say it like this, the way the person's getting coached. Say, and of course, I'm not going to say anything because it's not. And I'm thinking, well, shit, this person's going to get this demo, and then they're going to be miserable afterwards because they're not going to be able to reproduce it in their own, without having a coach there. So line reads, if you're in a session and a client gives you line reads, fantastic. I love line reads in sessions. But I'm not
No,
I don't believe in that because what's the point? You're not learning anything.
no, no. You have to be able to do it yourself. That's what coaching is about. All right. That's where you hire a coach so that you can go out there and do the job. Every sports coach, every trainer,
Yeah.
everybody. And I was a trainer for many years in the gym. And, I would tell people, I said, I can tell you what to do, but I want you to know why you're doing it. And how, if you kind of fall off, because you're not going to be with me forever. First of all,
Mhm.
I don't know that I want you with me forever. Well, well, I, 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 I want people to grow,
Yeah.
you know? Um, and so if you kind of fall off the wagon or you don't, you'll know why. You're like, oh, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And you'll see the mistake or you'll see the opportunity to change something,
Mm.
And I had last year, I think I did an audition. I received an audition for CNN. I told you about this, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I sent it back and I thought I did great, but middle-aged white guy with a deep voice, shake a stick. So, but I actually got to hear the spot from the fellow who did it, and he posted it on, I think, LinkedIn. And I was able to hear the slight difference in it. Then I said, I
Ah.
see that. Now, I would not have seen that prior to working with you guys
Oh wow.
with the coach because
Yeah.
now I see like, oh, okay, I see what he did there and how it worked, and that might, at least that's my opinion, what might have landed it. It sounded more CNN,
Yeah.
you know. Um, so anyway, but being coached, you start to learn that issue, right? That little bit like, oh, I see that. That's why I didn't get it. And
Mhm.
then you can adjust. So being able to just read something is one thing, but being able to adjust on the fly is something
Understand.
else without the coach being there.
Mhm.
Right.
So
That's
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 I
literally me every week in the weekly script challenge because I don't listen to anybody else's submission until I've put mine out there. And then when I start listening to everybody else, it's like, oh, why didn't I I love that approach. Why didn't I think of that? Or why didn't I pick up on that in the script or something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, something that was so obvious. If you would have broke down the script right, you probably would have caught it. But if you
Right.
if you just sat down and just rushed into it, then you did what I did.
So I have
So
a
I
question
was
for all of you. We'll start
I
with
was
Tony. Because everybody has jobs, obviously, and you should while you're starting off in this business. Tony, what you do for a living, do you bring any of those elements with you into the booth? And I'm going to ask the same question of
Ooh.
the two of you, of Mark.
um gosh, I drive a truck. So um I'm used to being in a small space by myself.
Okay.
So I guess that's the first thing I bring. But I don't know, you deal with a lot of different people, uh uh receiving clerks, and because everybody's different, right? So
Right.
I go to this customer, this guy is a little different in the way he wants things done when you're unloading your truck or than this guy is. So it's I guess the customer service part of it uh still
Okay.
applies, whether it's voiceover or whether you're delivering products to somebody.
True.
So it's just dealing with people, even though we are in the booth, or I'm in my truck most of the day by myself, we still have to deal with people, and
Mhm.
we're still going to have to deal with people. And as far as like reads go, or anything like that, just a different you get the different perspectives of different people, and that will help you if you get a script or whatever. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think in anything you do, whether it's whether on your job or or just going to the grocery store and dealing with people, I think you can bring anything that anytime you're connecting with people,
Yeah.
bring that to your to your read, because that's what you're doing. You're connecting with people,
That's
and so I guess that's the long-winded answer.
that's
So,
okay.
but yeah, yeah.
How about you, Dave?
Well, being a chef, I feel fortunate because there's so many terms in my culinary business that I can use in the voiceover world, without being, sometimes it's kind of cheesy, but it's true, My recipe for success is the coaching. I mean, variety is the spice of life. I mean, the master class gives so much variety, which
Mhm.
spices up my voiceover journey. I mean, there's so many, and presentation is so important to me when I serve a dish.
Mm.
Presentation to me is everything. You can have a great entree and then all of a sudden it just looks horrible and you lose your appetite.
Mm.
So presentation to me is everything. So I kind of bring all that to, and then when I come into the booth, I think about the client. I think about what am I going to bring that's going to leave a good taste in their mouth, leave a good,
Mm.
leave a good flavor, make something different, make something stand out. And so when I started combining my cooking with my voiceover, combines perfectly. There's so many
Mhm.
things that I can use. And so when I took my website and changed it, because one of the things is about coaching with you, Linda, is that you did my first real demo and then you did my second one. And to be able to see the growth
Yes.
and the journey, to go along the journey. And when I heard it the first time, I sat back and I go, wow. Because then I heard the other one. It's like
Yeah.
growth. Growth is here. Growth is coming. So I have a passion for what I do. In everything that I do, I have a tremendous passion. And voiceover is definitely something I've always wanted to do and explore. But now I'm really entrenched in the voiceover world. I'm entrenched in my cooking. So I just combine the two. And so I feel very fortunate.
That's awesome. I love that. How about you, Marco? Anything you bring?
Well, not, I don't know, maybe not in a classical way. Um, I work at night, and as a matter of fact, Monday I got home at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh.
So, and then I had a 9 o'clock dentist appointment. But so yeah, yesterday was a bit of a slow day for me. But um, probably for me, it's I would say Tony had mentioned about you dealing with people, and there's a wide variety of people where I work.
Mm.
Um, Different political beliefs, different everything. Um, and while I don't have to be super friends with everybody to get the job done, I mean, no one's coming over for Christmas dinner type thing.
Right.
But you have to get along, right? You have to get
Right.
along. But what I do is I kind of use some of their personalities for some of my reads.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, this is a John.
Mhm.
This is
Great.
Uh,
Chrissy. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
this is definitely about her, so I'm going to channel her, you know. So in that respect, yes, I can bring some of the work that I do, which has zero to do with voiceover
Yeah.
or even, creative anything. But yes, I can bring whatever. I can usually find a personality or character key um, that you had mentioned before, just in my workplace.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
I could try and emulate that when I'm reading, get in that headspace. So
I feel like we're all, middle-aged, and that it's a benefit because we have experience, we have life experience, and that's so crucial when you're having to break down a script and figure out who am I in this script, where am I, and find a relatable, find something. So I work with a lot of younger students that they don't have obviously as much experience, and so it's very tough for them to think of a character or an actor, and I try to find, but we are fortunate enough to be of the age to have a lot of experiences.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
really think that helps with reads and also understanding. It's as an actor, it helps as an actor.
Yeah.
Hmm.
sure, sure.
Definitely.
It's hard sometimes though, when I have you and Alyssa, um, and the read is something that's out of my wheelhouse, that I think is out of my wheelhouse,
Mhm.
and say, well, you must have had a time in your life when you were, whatever. And sure, I do. And if it was really a deep time, um, or a significant moment, um, I've probably dealt with that emotion already. So I can't really pull that out
Mm,
for it. For some people, it just may be too painful to bring that up
right.
again.
Hmm.
But yes, I agree. I think experience, um, in this world certainly is immensely important and a benefit. I think people should be okay with that. Okay, I'm a little long in the tooth now, but I'm starting this now at my age. I'm going to be 60 this year, and I'm going to, and if someone wants to come in at 60 or 65, great. That's
Yeah,
that's fine.
why not?
Why not? You
Hmm.
don't have to have started when you were 12 and have this lifelong dream of having a microphone in your face. And, you hear these stories and I think, yeah, that wasn't me. I
Hmm.
mean, as a kid, I used to make silly voices, watch cartoons, of course. Um, but I didn't have this lifelong dream of being a voice actor.
That's interesting.
You know, I, I
Did you,
like,
Tony?
Oh, I had the in the summer, I would go into my mom and dad's bedroom where they had their stereo, and I'd open the windows and I'd set the speakers in the window.
Ah,
I'd get a microphone and I was the DJ. I was playing
ah,
radio. It was great. It was my own radio station. So if you lived on my block, you could hear me. And I'm
that's
spinning
great.
I'm spinning Leo Sayer albums. And so
Skills.
yeah, no, at a young age I wanted a microphone in front of my face. I
Yeah.
really
Hmm.
did.
and did you wind up doing radio? I don't remember.
I had a cup of coffee in radio, is what
Okay.
I tell everybody. I went to school for broadcasting and started working in radio. I got engaged, got married, and at the time she didn't want to leave where we were living. We were living in rural southwestern Indiana, and I needed to eat. So I had to get a job other than radio.
Yeah.
So yeah, so and so I spent years out of it, and yeah, hop back in. I guess it was almost 3 years ago to this day. I had my first paid voiceover job. So
Oh.
Nice.
yeah, so it was a long time in between. Yeah, my early 20s and now. So
And
yeah.
Dave, you did do radio, right?
Yeah, I did. After for about a year, and what an unforgettable moment that was. But I remember that we had a bookstore in Los Angeles called the Samuel French Bookstore, which is where voice actors would just clamor to. And Susan Blue had wrote a book called Word of Mouth, and I think it's still out there. And I would get into that book and I would read it and practice. I'd go out of the radio station and I'd practice. And then I would go back into the second studio and work with music beds and music and all of that. And that's where I got my love for doing music beds, because I just would match this with that,
Yeah.
match this with that, and this, that, and that. And so the voiceover really came alive about 5 years ago, I'd have to say, though. And I turned 68 in June.
Wow. But you're a
And it's
singer and stuff. You've performed on stage. You've got a
yes, I've done
actor's
a lot of
background.
stage. The gunfighter actor at Old West Town for a year. I lived in an Old West Town as an actor, gunfighter, did commercials with Tom Selleck, uh, and went to the Western movies in all our garb. When a new movie would come out to the theaters, we'd go in our Western garb. And so playing that character of a cowboy was something that I was really enthralled with for several
Yeah.
years. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Nice.
This has
Cool,
been
fun
great,
stuff.
guys.
Thank you.
So a question for all of you. Do any of you have any kind of suggestions, something you'd like to see in the community or as a masterclass member? I'm always open.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Inquiring minds want to know.
You know what?
Hmm.
I will think
Hmm.
about it.
Okay.
I don't have
Revealing in the
anything.
podcast.
Yeah. No,
I-
you actually keep coming up with stuff that surprises me. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
we're getting more stuff. The peer critique stuff. And it's like, oh, this is great.
Mhm.
So yeah, no,
Thank you, Chat GPT.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do I get more
Yeah,
engagement
real.
in my community? And
Uh-huh.
it actually gave me the peer critique idea.
Yeah.
So
One thing I want to say, if because it sounds like you're about to wrap it up.
yeah.
So one thing I want to say before we do this, and I don't know if Dave remembers this or not, but I remember my first workout with the Gurus, and it was you and JJ at the time,
Mm.
and I'm sitting there, and people are reading, and I look over at the corner, and I've got a private message, and I click on it, and it's Dave, and Dave's like, "Hey, it's really, really good to see you here. Glad to have you. You are in good hands here."
Aw.
And he wasn't lying. He was
Oh,
Aw,
100%
that
honest.
means a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
So
really nice.
yeah, so to me, the guru community is really special. It really
Oh,
is.
thank you. Well, I
Yeah.
have to give a shout out to Troy Holden because he sends a lot of
Oh,
things my way.
Yeah.
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 Well, I just talked to him yesterday and
Yeah.
told him, how much I enjoy being in this community. So,
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
very supportive, which is
Yeah.
nice. But
yeah,
Troy's
that's
a
nice.
special guy.
he really is.
He's a
He
special
really
guy.
go-getter, yes, and very passionate. Yes. Hmm.
Dave, you share because you have that passion, and I love how you do all your cooking references in the community. But you always have the positive spin. You bring positivity just about every day
Yes.
to the community.
Oh, well, it means a lot. It means a lot to me. I'm fortunate with my job that I have a chance when I'm not cooking to listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of voiceover insights, or a stoic. I guess I'm a bit of a philosopher, but there's some things there that we need along life's journey, far beyond our voiceover, that fuels our voiceover journey. And so I like to say that, we're just spiritual beings living the human experience. I mean, there's so much about our lives together, and when we all connect together and we're on that same track, we have the same passion. Well, we have the struggles too. It's not a perfect world, and it's like hopefully I can bring some enlightenment and a pick me up. That's what I'm all about. Is let me pick you up.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a common element with some of the folks in the community, obviously you guys included, is you don't bring an ego. There's
No.
no attitude, there's no showing off this and that. And because that's the stuff completely turns me off in other groups. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
one to sit there and be like, listen to me, and that's,
Right.
I've always thought, you know what, if it takes me longer to become successful, I'd rather have that than be constantly, it's just not my personality. But I like that in the group. No, everyone is just so chill and they don't have an attitude.
Yeah.
So
And that's
Well,
that's important. And
Yeah.
these I tend to go to the scientific side because I was used to teach all the ologies of the body and whatnot. But the 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 positivity that Dave brings, and the rest of the group, everybody is very
Mm-hmm.
positive with each other.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't, I haven't seen a bad word anywhere about anything,
Yeah.
unless we're, talking about, who's that person sending crappy emails to everybody that, J.
Yeah.
Mike, that J. Michael already has a reward out for.
Oh, yeah.
But neurologically, when people say they have good energy, neurologically, it's a thing. So it's not really energy that flows through the air, and it's not woo-woo stuff. There is a right brain to right brain connection that people make, and it's a non-conscious thing, not subconscious, a non-conscious thing that mothers impart on their infant child when they're crying and you hold up the child. They learn, because you're relaxed during that stressful moment, they learn how to self-regulate and tone down themselves. And the same thing with therapists and clients. When they start to interact, and over time they get that right brain to right brain connection. So that energy that we feel when we feel comfortable with somebody is that physiological thing in that our right brains are connecting and lighting up in the same areas that neurologically is soothing. So that's and the people who have bad mojo, we hear that all the time. They're always this, they're irate all the time. It doesn't sync, it doesn't fit. The puzzle pieces don't fit. So that's why they're bad energy, quote. So there's a physiological thing to that. And I think it's wonderful that when people are very supportive of each other, because and we all know we have work to do. So, giving somebody support is still a wonderful thing. If I want smoke blown, where,
Yeah.
I'll go to my dad. He already thinks I should be the next James Earl Jones, but,
Yeah.
so, but still the comfort and support and that the community has, led by you and Alyssa and Kevin, really, really is the thing that's, I think, draws people here and keeps people here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to say that, as voice actors, we're called to be authentic, but when you live an authentic lifestyle, I mean, no matter if you're in the booth, outside the booth, with friends, family, just being you.
Yeah.
Just being you. And this is who I am, kind of a thing. And that's what I feel with this community, that people are just them. They're themselves. There's no pretenses. They're not trying to be something else. Or like you said, there's no egomaniacs. It's just, let's just have an authentic experience with one another. It's really simple.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a
Absolutely.
suggestion.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
All right.
There it is.
All
We
right,
got a
let's go.
brainstorming session going
There
on
it
here now.
goes.
We could go on a roll.
God. Yes.
Oh, you won't need to write this down.
Oh.
Well, okay.
You'll remember it.
Uh-oh.
How about a guru convention?
I have thought about that.
Oh,
I have
man.
thought about that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been whirring in my mind because I'm like, it's such a great group of people, and
Well, since we have some West Coasters in the group and we've got East Coasters in the group, I think Indianapolis would be a great
Just
kind of in the middle spot.
In the middle. I'm in the
Yeah.
Midwest. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Indianapolis is a great town. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That'd be a great place.
Hey, that's a
or
good thing.
Pittsburgh.
I
I've
do
thought
think
of
of it.
I've
I
thought
think
of
that would be
voiceover.
wonderful, getting to see everybody in person and
Yeah.
commiserate.
Yeah.
That would be kind of
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, I've thought about it because I'm like, well, do I have people come? I mean, there's a lot to do out here in Long Island. Obviously, we're right outside of New York City.
Mhm.
I've thought about that, and then I'm thinking about the logistics. And I'm like, oh God, what if people can't? I don't know. I go through this whole thing, but we'll talk about it. We'll continue to
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
I was just going to add that the whole thing with the no ego, that comes from my coming up in New York, because I hated going to workouts and to on camera with some coaches. They were so nasty and
Mhm.
they were so tough. I don't know if it's just a New York thing, whatever it was. But man, it made me like I wanted to shut down on my creativity, which is why I was like, sorry, but in any coaching environment, it has to be supportive, and you
Yes.
can't be criticizing someone else with something because I don't want to, not have somebody feel that they can in a improv workout be crazy, do a
Right.
crazy voice. There should be no judgment because it's a painful thing. It's a painful thing getting up in front of all these people and being like, oh God. And they're all doing it on camera, and they, my face would be in frame, and then the guy would be yelling at me, and I'm like, what is this? What does this do? This does not better me as a performer, as an actor.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and
It
that,
stunts you. Yeah.
yeah, and that's where it comes from, honestly, because I'm like, if I ever do this, I am not gonna have that type of environment.
Well,
Good.
that reminds me of a simple little saying that might actually be apropos for the voiceover world. It's not what you say, but how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
In coaching, even if you're going to correct me,
Right.
you don't have to be in my face about it. You can correct me and let me know that, okay, when we need to do it like this, or however you would say it.
Right.
But much like with the script, it's not the script. It's how I read the script, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Exactly.
That's like Mara Angelou has said, people will forget what we tell them, but they won't forget how we made them feel.
Yes.
And that takes me a long ways.
Yeah.
I try to keep that in front. And that's so true. People will remember how you made them feel, for sure.
Yeah.
And so I remember stepping in the door of the podcast of the Voiceover Gurus the first time, even though I wasn't in person, I felt at home.
Oh, good.
I felt I was at a place where I need to be and where I need to grow as a voice talent. And I'm grateful that I'm still here. So
So am I.
Yeah.
Tony, no pressure, but they just both had fantastic philosophical quote. It's down to
yeah,
you.
it's down to you.
Win one for the Gipper. I have nothing.
Yeah.
I've got nothing.
Oh, no.
Well, this was one big advertisement for the community. I appreciate your
Oh,
time. I love you guys.
My pleasure.
I'm so
My pleasure.
happy that you were able to come on and willing to also share honestly. And it's just because I want to grow the community with like-minded people. And I want you, if you're an aspiring actor, voice actor, I want you to feel comfortable joining us. I want you to realize that this is not any kind of intimidation happening in our group. And a lot of people are gaining a lot from it. So that was the whole point of it. But that does it today.
The more new people we get, the better.
Yes.
And
I always say
and what a way to do it through the community too. It's just, you don't have to. I think people get into it feeling like they have to hurry up and get to a certain point in their career, and
right.
And I think you miss a lot when you try to do that. If you just take your time. And I thoroughly enjoy this.
That's good.
And I'm not where I'm not where I want to be career wise in voiceover, but I'm where I'm at. And I'm enjoying it. And
that's what's important.
Yeah. The guru community is a big part of that.
That's awesome.
A big part of that.
Thank you, Tony Jones, Dave Johnston, Marco Rigazio, for joining me today. That wraps up another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Visit voiceover.guru. Of course, we have our workouts. We have all our fun stuff happening. We're actually doing another mock session. Marco, you did the mock session last year.
I did.
And we're going to do that in May 8th. That's something Kevin and I were discussing. But other stuff too, just go to voiceover.guru and you can check out everything we're offering, as well as an easy to click button there to join the community. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, guys.
Yay!
Bye, guys.
You guys are awesome.